the 2026 Midwest Digital Marketing Conference next on City Corner. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome to City Corner. Well, digital marketing is evolving faster than ever, from AI and AR to a growth in platforms. New questions are arising around creativity, authenticity, data, delivery, trust, and so much more. Coming up on April 29th and 30th, hundreds of marketers are going to be gathering right here in St. Louis for the 2026 Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, and they're going to be discussing some of these issues. Today, we're going to learn more about the conference, what's going on, all the speakers, sessions, all of that. I'm joined by the brains behind the conference. Joining me today are Perry Drake, who is the founder of the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, as well as Mindy Chu, who is the executive director. Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
This is exciting. This is exciting. There's a lot going on in this area. And I was, off camera saying to you, Perry, that, you've been here before. We've interviewed you back in 2019, 2021. What do you think has changed the most about the conference and just in general since that time?
Well, obviously what's changed the most is just AI and data and access and some of the stuff that you've talked about before. It's like the discussions we had back in 2019 or pre-COVID, totally different than today. But it's exciting, really exciting. But so that basically is infiltrating a lot of the sessions at the conference for sure.
I know, so we've got 2 days. It's a full two-day conference. And, Mindy, I want you to talk about sort of what do you think people are most eager to learn about and discuss at this year's conference? Is it AI, or are there more topics that we're kind of overlooking?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So one of the things we do is we do an open call for speakers. And I know when we have those applications come in, almost every single title had AI in it. And so something that the speaker selection committee and I talked about is how do we find speakers who talk about the use of AI in their specific marketing discipline instead of just throwing the buzzword of ChatGPT or AI into the title. And so I think I think there are two things that people are coming to our conference for. One is the authentic communication with other humans, other marketers who are behind the AI agents and trying to learn from those people and forming community. And the second part is how do you actually use AI efficiently? Because there are millions of YouTube videos and master classes and things that you can pay for online that may not give you the actual practical application of how to use AI in digital marketing specifically. So I think that's what attendees are looking for.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so AI, I was going to say over the past, 5 years or so, AI has clearly become, it is the buzzword, and I think people really do want to understand how it works. We're going to get into some of the details of the conference. Just to preface it, this is for all ages, right? You can be from college student, early career to like veteran status marketing, correct? So talk about some of the people who are registering or people that you want to come to the conference.
Well, I'll just say, I think that's one of the things that we grew the conference upon to make sure anybody could attend the conference that wanted to, including students, nonprofits, people who are out of work, whatever the case might be, C-suite, middle managers. So we try to keep the price point inclusive in that regard, Sarah, as you know, a low price point in that regard. So that kind of brings a broader perspective to the conference. So we don't just have the C-suite there thinking in that direction. So we've got everybody there. So everybody's voices are there, everybody's heard. So I think that's what makes our community kind of unique. You've got all different levels of individuals there, and I think that's what makes it an amazing event. In that regard.
You've done a great job. This is the largest kind of gathering, the largest conference of its kind in the region.
Right.
So I know when I've been in the past, you're pulling people from not just here in St. Louis, but from all over.
And we are the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, so of course a lot of people in the St. Louis area attend the conference, and we do have a really strong marketing presence here in St. Louis itself. But we pull from all the way as far as Iowa to Tennessee. We also have speakers and attendees that come in from the East Coast and the West Coast, just because they want to know what's happening here in the middle of the country. So another thing that we are doing with, trying to address all of these different levels of understanding of marketing, we try and build an agenda that has some basics, some intermediate, and some expert as well. So, the thing that we are shooting for is we have 75 speakers, we have about 55 different sessions, so there's something there for everyone, just because digital marketing is such a broad term. So for one, finding a session that speaks to your specific discipline, but also to your level of expertise.
And what we're trying to do too, right, Mindy, is reduce the number of kind of low-level sort of beginner sessions, because again, a lot of people can get that off YouTube videos, things along those lines. So we're trying to stay kind of in that intermediate advanced level to just make it, a better value to the attendee and more neat that they can go with.
I noticed that actually when I was on your site, and we'll throw up a graphic. We've got sort of, we've compiled sort of screenshots of all of your speakers. I know you have a lot of speakers, so that's kind of these small little dots on the screen that you're seeing.
We're still missing a few headshots.
But that's just to show, we wanted to be able to show viewers the breadth and like the number of speakers and moderators that you have. How would you describe, sort of St. Louis is a really interesting place, right? Because we were talking about there's so many graduates who've come, not just out of the UMSL program, which this is this conference is presented by, but also Mizzou and other areas. But it's a healthy marketing sort of community here. How would you sort of describe the landscape and the people who are coming each year across the board, agencies, it's from all over?
Yeah, so we have a really healthy mix. And so we do have a lot of agencies that show up, either as speakers or attendees or sponsors, but we also have, huge powerhouse brands. They're based here in St. Louis, like Enterprise and Nestle Purina and Bayer and so on and so forth. And so we have a mix of people who are in-house. We have a mix of people who are representing agencies. We also have there's a strong startup community here in St. Louis as well.
And nonprofit.
And nonprofits. So a lot of small businesses and nonprofits are showing up too. And I think that's really the magic of MDMC, is bringing all of those different, supposedly fragmented different industries together.
But it's a challenge for like Mindy and the team to ensure that we're covering all those bases. That's because again, we are quite varied in terms of the levels and the type of individuals looking for content. So it makes it a challenge.
You're doing a great job though. Really bringing people together. I want to, before we go to break, I do want to talk about two things. One, the launch effect, which is your theme this year. So maybe Perry, if you could speak about that. Tell us we've got a graphic that we pulled off your website what's the meaning behind the launch effect?
Well, I can't take credit for it, and I'm not going to. It was Thomas O'Connell, who's our production director. He's based in Austin. He actually came up with the idea, and he said, what do you guys think? And we both jumped on it. We thought it was phenomenal because it makes perfect sense. It's all about launching a new product, a new idea, a service, whatever the case is, and we're also working with the entrepreneurial ecosystem as well this year. So on day 2, we'll be working with the Entrepreneurial Innovation Center, which is a part of UMSL. I'm not sure you're familiar with that component. So that's kind of cool. In terms of what we're doing.
There are a lot of sessions, or there are sessions on day 2 that are going to be focused on entrepreneurship and this whole concept of the launch effect. And so we have speakers that are coming in representing the entrepreneurial community from Tech STL, someone from CIC or the Cortex Innovation Center. So we're really trying to focus on that and support the local startup and entrepreneurship community as well.
And keep in mind, we're trying to bring back what we were doing before COVID shut us down. So a lot of these things we were doing before COVID, we were working in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We were working a lot with high school kids and the youth, and COVID just knocked the socks off of us. And so we're trying to rebuild that now. We're at a point where we can, because we're starting to build up our mass attendee list. So that's what we're hoping to do.
That's great. And you mentioned when you said high school students, I do want to bring so you kind of have worked really hard for sort of talk about this a bit more. Is it a scholarship component to this? Or?
Yeah, it is. We've worked a lot with Girls Inc., Youth Exploring Science, which is part of the Science Center, which is right around the corner here. And now this year we are working with various high schools, giving scholarships and grants so that they can cover the total cost of attendance. So we'll probably have maybe 25 high school kids, I'm thinking that's where we're going to end up with from various high schools, and probably about 25 various college kids from around, that we are supporting them and sponsoring them fully, just so they could have the experience.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, it'll range from,
so
you've got everything, like you said, from C-suite all the way down to a beginner level, but also high school, as well as college students.
Right.
I do want to remind people, obviously, you're both wearing, you've got your conference stuff on, and you've got your UMSL shirt. That people know that this came out, and you founded this, but obviously I referred to you as Perry Drake, the founder, but you're a professor at UMSL, and this is through the business school, right?
Yeah.
And so, that people make that connection.
Yeah, it is a production of UMSL Business, yes.
Yes. And so I know last year, a lot of the photos that we've been looking at were at the Two Hills, where you had it last year. But you've changed locations to probably accommodate.
Well, we outgrew it.
And that's the exciting thing about this, right? When we talk about COVID and how it was difficult before, but this is really an opportunity to grow and rebuild in the way that we want to. And so this year, our venue is the Renaissance St. Louis Airport Hotel, and we're really excited to grow into that because we're projecting 1,000 attendees this year. So we're trying to break that 1,000 mark.
How many?
1,000.
Wow.
But keep in mind, before COVID, last year we were live, we were at 2,000 attendees. And we had about 125 speakers. It was 3 days. I think we had 8 sessions running concurrently every day, which was crazy. I would love to get back to that. I don't know.
Are you looking for volunteers? You might need some volunteers to help out. But that's fantastic for 1,000. I know there's a lot I want to get into about we were talking about AI, just again, some industry trends, just so people can sort of set the stage for what they're going to hear at the conference. But we are going to take a quick break in a little bit. I'm going to put some information up on the screen for you because there's a lot that we've kind of covered. So MDMC, you've probably heard that term. That's the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. Again, this is the largest conference of its kind in the region. It's a production of the University of Missouri, the Ed G. Smith College of Business.
Yes,
so
thank you. The dean will appreciate that. Yes, okay.
April 29th and 30th at the Renaissance St. Louis Airport Hotel, and you can go to bestmarketingconference.com to get all the details, the run of show, the agenda, kind of what Mindy has been talking about and Perry had been talking about in this first segment. Obviously, for Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, there's a lot of platforms for you to follow. So there's Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. They're making postings right now each day about the speakers, and so we can kind of get into that for the second part of this segment. But we're going to take a quick break and stay with us because we're going to have more about MDMC26 coming up. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can watch STL TV on your smart TV? That's right. With the new STL TV Now app, you can watch STL TV at home without a cable subscription. And that includes our live broadcast channel as well as video on demand content. We have apps for Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku. You probably have at least one of those at home, right? But this one is a Fire TV. Now listen, it is really easy to get started. Just find the App Store on your TV, then search for STL TV Now. Select it and click to install. And in just a few seconds, you are enjoying STL TV's great programming such as City Corner, Inside Sports, City Government, and public interest coverage. Or, my personal favorite, In the Kitchen.
Oh, hey, have you seen that piece on the Tiffany neighborhood on STL TV?
No.
Let me show you.
My wife and I were looking for homes. We lived in the city all of her life, and there's just a different energy when you're in the city.
Keep up with what's happening in your neighborhood. Watch STL TV. Be in the know.
I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. I'm joined today by Perry Drake and Mindy Chu with the 2026 Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. Thank you both for being here. This is exciting, and we were saying off camera just the changes of the conference over the years, and it's a huge production to put on. Shout out any acknowledgements you want to make to your team for putting this all together. It's a lot of speakers, a lot of sessions. How do you guys do it each year?
Well, first of all, just to clarify, Mindy is the one that takes care of the website, all the posting, all the emails, all the communications, all of that is through Mindy. Thomas, who's not here, Thomas O'Connell, who I mentioned before, is the production director. So he's the one that makes it all happen behind the scenes at whatever venue we're at. Yeah. I'm just kind of the IDEO guy. I hate to say sometimes that when my mouth opens on a Zoom call, Thomas and Mindy sometimes are gasping at what's Perry going to ask or want to do. But anyway, we all work together pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Perry pushes the envelope, and then I try to make the envelope fit. And then,
and then if it doesn't, then I get in trouble,
And then on the day of, Thomas makes it amazing. So,
what do you think? I mean, when there is like a real energy at the conference, and when I've gone, I think there's this sort of like hunger and people wanting to connect, but also know more. Obviously, professionally, people want to stay ahead in their career. So, I mean, when you're planning these sessions, is that, and in the industry itself, is that kind of what you're thinking? Like, try to stay ahead, anticipate what
they're looking
people want to learn, want to know?
Yeah, for sure. So
and I think the format too, right? If you want to talk about the roundtables.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we have 3 types of sessions, or we will have three types of sessions at MDMC26. So they're the breakout sessions. They're 50 minutes long, and those are just like a slide deck or a single solo speaker. And then we have the master classes that are available to VIP pass holders. Those are 2-hour-long, full-on workshops. You're going to come out with something. So for instance, we have a masterclass where you're going to build your own AI agent in 2 hours. And when you leave, you're going to have that ready to deploy on Monday morning and show that off to your boss. And then the third session that we have are roundtables. So we did this last year. It was a huge hit. And basically, it's I think it's an hour and a half of a panel of speakers, but not just having speakers speak out to the audience, but we encourage organic conversation and for the audience to participate in those conversations. And we found that really resonated with the people that were sitting in the audience and the speakers themselves. So we're doing that again this year.
And then we're also creating the dining room for lunch where tables are wrapped around certain themes, I think.
So we're going to have different meetups. So they will have meetups for people who are early career. We'll have meetups for people who are specifically in SEO. So that way you're able to find your community in St. Louis and in the region and kind of facilitate that community building.
That's great. No, that's really good. I'm going to kind of segue into sort of these, just getting your thoughts on this, because I know we're not going to dwell solely on AI, but just, as we approach the conference, I wanted to ask you both what you feel the role of sort of like the human marketer is. Because as we were walking in, Mindy said, everyone's using AI. And it's like, everyone's using AI, whether everyone's got a ChatGPT account or something. But like, what is the role of the human marketer? And this gets back on those topics I was bringing up, authenticity, creativity. I mean, I think now everyone sees it so much. They actually want something. They want an email with errors in it. They want a social media post that sounds like somebody wrote it and maybe there's a mistake in it. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on the role, right now and in the future of the human marketer.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us are trying to figure that out at the moment, right? And how we are to work and ideate with AI. And I think hopefully that's some of the stuff we'll bring forward in the sessions.
Yeah, so I do teach a class at UMSL. It's customer relationship management and CRM. And when you look at it, it's a tool, and I look at AI the same way. So marketing has been around since the beginning of time. There was somebody that had a lot of bananas, and they had a banana stand, and they started marketing to sell their bananas, right? So as time has gone on, they've scaled up, they've used the internet, and AI is a disruptor, but it's really another piece and another tool in your tool belt. So human marketers are here to stay, because at the end of the day, my approach to marketing is that it's a practice of communication from one human to another. And I think what's important is how do we efficiently and effectively use that tool to make ourselves better and to make ourselves be able to perform our jobs better and reach more humans on the other side.
I think the challenge, again, me being a professor is, and I think that's fine for us adults, we can take it seriously. For the younger generation, again, they're looking at it as a copy-paste sort of scenario. So again, for me, when I'm in front of the classroom, and I'm assuming Mindy's doing the same thing, we also try to show the students how to use it, how to ideate with it, how to make your results more powerful, more creative by working with chat is that tool or that assistant or however you want to position it. But it is hard for the kids to kind of figure this out, and that's where we need to kind of take that responsibility.
Right, because generationally, if you have a generation that is introduced to video, and video, when they're introduced to it, is already a mix of authentic video versus you know, whether it's AI or even now AR, then it's like, you know, if that's their baseline, you know, whereas a different generation might say, oh, I really long for the days of authentic, you know, what I'm seeing on my screen. Do you think that there's so many platforms? I mean, when we first, I laughed off camera because I said when we first met, I was just talking about like advertising on Facebook, you know, and now it's like, I mean, there's so many platforms. I mean, so much of that. I mean, that was like 10 years ago. So, I mean, do you think things are too fragmented now, or you just think it's, Mindy, kind of go with it and this is how, just adapt and evolve? I mean, what is your take on this? I mean, there's like hundreds of platforms now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to knowing your audience, really, at the end of the day. So I don't think necessarily it is, it's where is your audience, but I don't know what you think, Mindy.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we talk a lot about AI as a buzzword, but having the fundamentals of marketing and understanding things like market research and understanding your audience and targeting and positioning, all of those things are amplified with the use of AI. So, you know, this conversation about fragmentation has been a thing and will continue to be a thing. But at the end of the day, if you know where your audience is and you're able to communicate with them effectively on that platform, then how do you have a specific strategy so you don't get distracted too at the end of the day? So.
Right. Yeah. This brings up, I wonder too, on the academic side, the notion of trust, right? Trust and authenticity. I mean, what is it when you're teaching your students that clearly with brands, you want to develop trust, right? I mean, everyone sort of knows that their data is being extracted, observed. I mean, there's this weird thing going on right now where it's like, we all know this, but we're kind of okay with it, but not when it goes a little too far. So I mean, from on the academic side, when you're teaching and instructing, you know, talking about marketing, how does this theme of trust sort of play a role in
I mean, when we get into discussions of, you know, how individuals try to align themselves with brands that resonate with them, right, on social causes, trust issues, those sort of things. So we kind of get into that. We talk about a few cases where brands have kind of messed up and have kind of lost that trust. So again, I think it's always something that's kind of been there. AI's just kind of bringing a new twist and, you know, into it. Mindy, I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think that's the part where human marketers will always be a part of that, because at the end of the day, as humans, we do have gut instinct, and we're still, you know, this uncanny valley is still very much a thing, and we're able to sniff out whether it's AI or not. Once you've seen, you know, a ChatGPT post on LinkedIn, you're like, oh, I can sniff all of them out. So I think as long as we have real humans doing the marketing, then that's how we build trust, right? Because some of the things that I talk about with the students that I teach at UMSL is that when you do customer relationship management and you're receiving all of this data from the customers, they're expecting something in return. It's reciprocal. And so I think that the ethics part of marketing is where that comes into play.
No, I think so. And while we're still on the topic on the educational side, again, just to emphasize too that, you know, this is a production of UMSL and the Ed G. Smith College of Business. We were talking about curriculum. You're both obviously faculty and teach at UMSL. You were saying you're changing your curriculum to actually adapt to this digital marketing age. Talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'm the chair of the Marketing Entrepreneurship Department. We just put, and Mindy was a part of kind of going through and helping realign, we just changed the curriculum for all marketing majors. So digital strategies, for example, which teaches SEO, paid search, Google Analytics, UX, those sort of things, used to be an elective, and it is now a required class starting in the fall. So every student will be required to take that. Now, introduction to marketing has always touched base a little bit with that, but it's maybe been 5 pages in the intro to marketing textbook. So this is one of the changes we made. I would say maybe a handful of universities are, you know, requiring this for a course, but I was thrilled that all the faculty voted for it, agreed to make it a required class, and so that's a big move for us, which is great. And then the other thing I was mentioning to you, which is great, is we've reduced a lot of the prereqs that, you know, students would scratch their heads for. Why do I need to take calculus? Why do I need to take macroeconomics, et cetera? So that allows them to take courses like Mindy's CRM class as one of the electives, which is great, and it not cost them more at the end of the day, because everybody's looking at the cost benefit, right,
Absolutely.
of education even more today than ever before.
And it's it signifies too so much of like the firmness of where things are headed. That's also just the reality, right? Which is like, this is just like, I was going to ask you too, like when we're back in here, like in 5 years from now, looking back, it's hard to even know what.
Well, it'd be funny if we should have watched our old segment we did before from 10 years ago
to see what
or
we were
whatever,
talking
to see
about.
what
But
we
no,
were
I mean,
which
just,
would have been interesting.
Right, but it's just the changes that you're making at an undergraduate level on the prereqs as well as required classes are clearly just a marker of this is how the industry is from here on out.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Do you think there's any misconceptions that people have, like both from a professional standpoint when it comes to the conference as well as even on the students about digital marketing? Is there something that each year or that you're constantly, that you think people are just not, that there's a misconception about?
Well, people who are not in digital marketing think they can do it, and it's really easy.
Well, especially now with AI.
Right, and now with AI, they're like, we can do all of that. But the people who are in the digital marketing world think that everything that they do is special, which I mean to a certain extent it is. I think one of the things that's really exciting in the digital marketing realm right now is that everything is new, and we're able to kind of write our history moving forward. So I think just being open-minded is a huge deal in digital marketing right now.
Right.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've said to my students in digital strategies, I mean, my content is going to totally change by the fall semester because AI is infiltrating everything with respect to search and paid search, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's exciting, but it's a disruption. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love this. We could talk forever, and I think we'll have to continue on at the conference, right? Because there's so much more to say. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for
really
having
great. I know we had to put a lot into a short period of time, but I'm glad we were able to cover, not just the details of the conference, but also hit some topics. Thank you both for being
absolutely.
here.
And you're invited to attend. We would love to have you
You'll
back.
see me there, you'll see me there. And for
Yeah.
you at home, we want you to be able to go as well. As we've kind of discussed today, whether you are just starting out, whether you are like inquisitive about stuff, whether this is something you've been doing for the past 20-something years, or whether you are mid-career, go check out the 2026 Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. There's the details. It's bestmarketingconference.com. A ton of stuff that's on the website about what's going to happen for those 2 days on April 29th and 30th. Also follow them on social media because there's a lot of introductions to the speakers who are going to be there, some of the sessions. We've talked about a bit of that today, but we couldn't get into all the details of that. So be sure to follow them on all those platforms that you're seeing, as well as head to the website. Again, Mindy and Perry, thank you both for being here. Thank you. And thank you at home for watching, and keep it right here on STL TV, Experience St. Louis.